So I think what happened with me, and I don't want to get into the whole weird thing about Rib and the fantasy novel and all that Shepherds of Alaska stuff, but I don't know. I want to see Eddington, the Joaquin Phoenix movie, and I'm not really going to focus anymore from this point on about corrupt authority figures anymore, because to be honest, it brings you down, you know. It makes you sad, you know. Everyone has to deal with everything. They have to deal with hurricanes, they have to deal with crime, they have to deal with law, legality. Even John Bunyan, when he was writing, had to deal with all these things that are out there, the elements of the world that you have to fight against. You know, there's the rain, there's the ice, there's the snow, there's volcanoes, there's Thomas Pynchon, right? He's an element of nature that you have to deal with. You know, we had to deal with COVID, which is sickness. So from this point on, you know, I see them as people, you know. I never got into being a soldier, you know, like I went the theater route, the showman route, you know, but I almost did. I almost joined the Marines. So there's a sense of respect towards it all, because there are psychos, you know, there's the Columbine thing, you know, and so that does happen. And it happens in life, it's happened in movie theaters, it's happened in schools, and it's like something I don't really want to bring up anymore on the show. I want to go past that. It was sickness. My sister was married to a police officer. She's no longer with us, and I miss her, and I respect her husband and her children and her daughter and her son, and I respect that family side. And I didn't mean any disrespect by bringing that character out that I'm going to, you know, be rid of, you know, and move on from that character, from that behavior, and move on and try to focus on things that are good, you know, the good things in life. You focus on those things. Hemingway talked about that in his writing. He always focused on the positive aspect of things, because the negative will be there. There'll be a shadow. Even when you're focusing on the positive, there'll be, the negative will always be there. The shadow will always be there. You know, it's just the way life is. I haven't seen my kids since March, my 3 kids since March 9th of 2019. I miss them, you know, from what I know of them. I know they're one of them's double digits now. I think David's already at 11, because we're already going to be, well, his is August, in August time. My first daughter's was in July, and then my second daughter's in December. But they're older, they're getting older now, you know, they're growing up, and I'm missing all that. I have applied to be a teacher, so I sent out the application. It's somewhere in South Lake. It's like a private performance art kind of thing, which I still remember all the stuff Uta Hagen taught in her book Challenge for the Actor, and my voice training and things like that. I can bring that to the light of people that want to go into performance, you know. I think it's important. It helps business. It helps people that may not ever be able to be very, maybe let's say, literate in speaking, and let's say people that need that for business. And, you know, it may not be at par with Broadway. It may not be at par with Hollywood to a certain degree, but it's going to work. It's going to make the person better. You know, you take a mime class, you're going to be better in warehouse work. You take a speech dialect class, or you'll say an acting class, you're going to be better at dealing with people and speaking. You're going to know some tricks to the trade. And you go out and try to be a vlogger, you're going to need all of it, you know, which is exciting. It's an exciting adventure that you go on, and you meet other people that are in that community. But I guess I guess this is about maybe trying to better my life, you know. And I'm in the process of dieting. I do not drink soda anymore. I'm only drinking like lemon tea, or just like tea, most like lemon water. I'm trying to lower my, I guess it's ulceric acid for the sake of gout, you know, like trying to control that. No more fast food in my life, hardly at all. I still eat like ramen noodle and spinach and things like that, but and then tuna fish sandwiches and things like that. I'm not, you know, I'm not a vegan, but vegans are smart. You know, it's smart to be that way, to take in more vegetables and stuff. They don't deal with the gout as much. They might, but I very seriously doubt they would. I was eating a lot of pepperoni and hot dogs and things like that. I gotta watch out on that. Anyway, just want to throw that out there. 5 minutes, headed back. All right, work convoy, still at it. Right on the express. As long as you take the first one out, I'm hoping that this one shouldn't count. Can't get around that. Usually it will say on the sign up this way. I think I had a whole show about corruption at NTTA. That was all bull crap. Yeah, I know. But there would be a sign up here. Scheduled closure from 8 to 6 a.m. Yeah. You can see it right here. And then you can see right here that it says 0. Yeah, they've modernized a lot of the 7-Elevens now. They're kind of making them whatever that is. It's just kind of classier. Not that that matters. Get dropped down. What does it say here? 294. And 277. Oh, I see. Whoa, what is that anyway? What's the gas price right now? 277. Are you sure? This reads at 299 or 294. You think it went up a little bit? Yeah, it's 294.
294?
Yeah, that's what it says. Maybe that's
Yeah. It will automatically update first, and we should update over.
Then you update there. Alright, so didn't update yet. Man, all this little like stuff that's on this brand new tarred highway road right here. They just redid this over the last year. It took them about a year to do it almost, I think. But it's all brand new. But it's gathering like little pebbles because of its newness, you know. And the pebbles are, you know. It could have been cut. Yeah, these are still a little sketchy right here. Yeah. It usually gets off the, I don't know, that could have been from the gas station, I'm not sure. Alright, so I guess this is kind of over the last 5 years, it's kind of a milestone for the show, getting up to 1,000 subscribers. I'm trying to listen to The Crying of Lot 49, which is Pinchon. I've been interested in Pinchon since the P.T. Anderson thing started coming out, one battle at a time, because I wanted to be like kind of where I could talk about Pinchon a little bit, you know, before going to see the movie. I'm kind of that way on a movie that I want to see. Eddington, though, I'm a bigger P.T. Anderson fan. Ooh, got some coolness right here. They're just cleaning the roads again. The work convoy. P.T. Anderson, I'm a bigger fan than I like P.T. Anderson more than Ari Aster. Everyone, you know, they talk really good things about Ari. I don't know much about him. I saw some interviews with him. He seems kind of like a guy that you would meet in math class, or like a science class, like a science teacher or something. Sorry. James Cameron kind of always reminded me of that, like a chemist teacher. But P.T. Anderson reminds me of like a theater arts guy, you know, just a complete freaking nut. But Ari Aster doesn't seem to really be like a nut, you know, but he probably is, but he doesn't really act like one. I wasn't a big fan of the Brad Pitt sci-fi thing that came out a few years back, right after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. They did that Ari Aster sci-fi movie. The moon chase and all that stuff, I didn't connect with me, you know. I was like, okay, what is this, you know? I actually really didn't like it. I was kind of bored. You know, I mean, I know my vlog's kind of boring, but I didn't get the whole sci-fi connection. Like a sci-fi film. Tell Jesus I'm in Texas when they put me in the dirt. The sci-fi film, you know, it always has new ideas, and I guess the moon battle sequence was something that I think was probably like a new idea. I mean, it's neat. I want to see it again. I don't even know the name of it right now. I just know it was an Ari Aster sci-fi film. I've maybe been in a funky mood. Oh, they're still doing the work, Convoy. Like Alien is a good sci-fi film. You know, Ridley Scott. It has all these new ideas, all this like artwork that comes in. It's just, sci-fi is a very, very serious genre. So I know he tackled that, and he probably sees that as kind of probably maybe a failure film, you know. I didn't understand it. I just didn't catch with it, you know. This one looks good. This Eddington thing may be more up his alley. This one looks like maybe a Best Picture. But I'll read stuff about Ari Aster and see what he's about. And maybe I'll rewatch the sci-fi thing because of that. And I'm sure, you know, hey, just because a film you don't like it, then you watch it again, then you're like, hey, that's a great film. Then it's really a good film, you know. There's a lot of films I didn't like the first time I watched it, and then I watched it again, and I'm like, okay, that's a freaking masterpiece. I walked out of Pulp Fiction. I was like, what is this? This isn't Quentin Tarantino. That's the first thing I was like. Reservoir Dogs was more up my alley. I was like, that's the film. And then, you know, this, you know, like surfer music comes in and all this. I'm like, what is this? You know, and like I watched all the way up to the. I think I watched it all the way to probably the right after the Royale with cheese moment. I think I actually left during that moment, and then I have to say that it wasn't in the same temperament as Reservoir Dogs. I didn't think it was the same temperament, and I didn't think of the acting. I was like, what is this? Then I went back, and you know, everyone talked about it. It's like, man, you got to see Pulp Fiction, all this stuff, and I was like, yeah, I walked out of it, you know. And they were like, well, what is it? I was like, I was offended. What offended you? The surfer music at the beginning, you know, it was like that, and then, like, you know, and I just didn't catch onto it. Then I watched it again, and even now, I have to say, I'm gonna take a Henderson exit right here. Even now, I still don't completely like it the most. I still like Reservoir Dogs better. It was like the introduction of what Quentin Tarantino is going to do with all the rest of his movies. I like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's great. I do think Pulp Fiction is good. There's probably one scene I would cut, and I think you know the scene I'm talking about. But it's just, what in the world, you know? It was really shock value kind of thing, and he probably even kind of, I would say, I don't think he regrets it, but I probably would have edited that. I probably would have said, let's just skip this scene, even though it's kind of what they would call the climax of the scene, or the climax of the movie, maybe. But I'm not going to talk about it. Quentin, the thing is like he's a mean writer. He's curt. He is good with language. He's a genius. But I got past Pulp Fiction and I went and saw Jackie Brown, and I didn't think Jackie Brown was bad at all. I thought Jackie Brown was actually really cool. Then I loved Kill Bill stuff. I was like, yeah, this is the Kill Bill stuff. It's just Pulp Fiction was, maybe I've seen it too many times. I've probably seen it more than 20 times or so. And there's lines that you can quote and stuff. That's when you know you're dealing with a good filmmaker, or at least a good writer. When you can quote lines like, Royale with cheese, you remember that. And look at the big brains on Brad, You can quote like probably 20, anybody, any church member. Yeah, any member of the church during a church gathering, like a picnic thing, could quote a line from Pulp Fiction. Yeah. He's a Protestant, but I'm not beating up on Pulp Fiction. You got to beat up on masterpieces and stuff if you're gonna, But I would have never thought of that crap. I never would have. It's like, what in the world? See, it was a sincerity of Reservoir Dogs, and I miss Michael Madsen, by the way. I did write a little piece on Michael Madsen. I have not released it on Facebook because I want to kind of make it kind of cool. I didn't know Michael Madsen, but he did bring a new kind of take on coolness and crime in the cinema, because that's what Reservoir Dogs was about. It was about crime. It was about the rebellion against legality, taking it because it's yours. F the man. The guy's wearing makeup and he's walking with a bag. And I was a fan of Harvey Keitel. And so I liked the piano and I liked everything Harvey Keitel's done. He's kind of, to me, it would be a scary meeting with Harvey Keitel. I'd be kind of scary. Even though I could have came around him when they were in the Actor Studio, because I'm an Actor Studio kid. Some people are Walt Disney kids. I'm Actor Studio. I don't hate Quentin Tarantino, but probably the thing, I wouldn't want to talk to him about Pulp Fiction. I'd say, let's leave Pulp Fiction alone. Let's not go there. Let's talk about Reservoir Dogs. It was the sincerity of the thieves. It was a brotherhood of thieves, and it was the brotherhood thing. And even the cop that was the undercover cop had a connection with it. It's beyond genius. It's his best work. It really is. And I saw it in Austin, and I was blown away. I probably, to be honest, I probably wouldn't be doing this vlog, and I probably wouldn't have done the plays that I did when I was trying to be an actor, and I probably wouldn't have gone to Hollywood if it probably wasn't for Reservoir Dogs. That's the kind of impact Quentin Tarantino has made. I don't want to just, I'm talking about Ari Aster and all this stuff, but you always bring up Quentin because he's the encyclopedia of all film. He knows it all. He would be the one you would ask questions about. But he may be impressed with that. But I'm not a big Pulp Fiction fan, but I don't hate it though. Look again right here. They're at the Kimball Art Museum. But I'd be like, let's not talk about Pulp Fiction. I'm going to talk about Reservoir Dogs and why the colors, and the Hong Kong movie and all this stuff. But then again, True Romance is good. I like everything he does. I'm even a fan of Pulp Fiction. I just wouldn't put it at the top of my favorite Quentin Tarantino. Ari Aster, I got to look up the sci-fi film that he did. Man, I cannot believe I don't remember that name. I'm usually good with movies, with remembering movie names. Horribly mistaken. Ari Aster didn't do a sci-fi film, I don't think. Or Hereditary, yeah. Hereditary is kind of sci-fi, which is actually cool. A lot of filmmakers, a lot of film people, filmgoers, they like it. There's another film that sounds like his name that Brad Pitt did. I'll have to look at Brad Pitt's filmography. I got it mixed. I'm sorry, Ari Aster. That's going to be a funny joke. That I could bring that one to the mic and maybe... Well, I did bring it to the mic. Yeah. He did Midsommar. I do like Midsommar. I saw that at Angelica. I seen a lot of stuff on 35mm. I saw all Quentin's early stuff on 35mm. They don't do 35mm anymore. I even saw Eraserhead on 35mm. Yeah, that makes me in a certain genre. Popo. That makes me in a certain genre. Eraserhead 35mm. I also was stoned, and I don't smoke weed, but back then I did. Hang out with my friend Luke and his friend Philip. I think Bobby Skez was with me. He's a playwright in town. All right, he's done plays here, and we've worked together closely, and I haven't seen him in a while. I kind of miss him. We're also pretty competitive, but we're kind of frenemies, or friends. But we went and saw Eraserhead at the Inwood in Dallas on 35mm print. Also, what's cool about Bobby Skez and I, Robert Vasquez and I, yeah, we went out and saw Sunday's Child. It's Daniel Bergman. It's the son of Ingmar Bergman, a rare print 35mm that was shown in Dallas, of a very small audience. Rob and I went and saw that. It's a beautiful film. It's done by Daniel Bergman, the son of Ingmar Bergman, or Egmar Bergman, I think is how you say his name. But yeah, I saw Reservoir Dogs on 35mm. I mean, you could hear the projector in that little Austin movie theater right there on campus. You could hear the projector in the back. Just it was. I mean, that he would have liked. That was a great, man. Listen, it was like a hush in that theater. That thing is a brilliant film. I love it. I want to watch it again though. I just love the connection between, and making sure that wasn't an animal, it was just a bumper. I like the connection between Keitel's character, he's Mr. White, and Mr. Orange, and how he defends him. And then he finds out, you know, that he's a cop, and there's that classic Keitel, because he's got to shoot him. Yeah, you talk about Marlon Brando, man. I mean, amazing. But, I don't know. If I didn't like film so much, I might have become a rock star. That's what's sad. It's vlog. Sad. Sad situation. Yeah, Ari Aster didn't do a sci-fi one that I thought he did. But I have to look at Brad Pitt's filmography, and I'll figure out that sci-fi film I can't think of. That sounds like Ari Aster. This is going to be a joke. Brad Pitt did a sci-fi film called Ad Astra. Got it. Which is a whole different genre thing, all different. It's not Ari Aster at all. So I got it mixed up there. So sorry about that. Yeah, Ari Aster did Midsommar. Got it. That's a good one. It's a horror film. And Hereditary, which is also kind of a horror film. A little sci-fi. It's a little sci-fi too. Gonna pass a little 1930 guy carrying a cane. They just erected this for the drinkers. This is also a place for drinker haven. It's Hotel Auto. I don't really drink, but this is Stewart's. It's a cocktail. It's called Stewart's. They just opened it. It used to be a Mediterranean restaurant. It's 1930s. You get a cocktail there. I do like Aqua Velva and a Long Island iced tea. Good night. Here's Calico Tabby. All right. We gotta feed the outdoor kitties. And we'll get to you, okay? Just chill out. Here we go with today's kitty. There's one kitty, 9 lives. And each life has a number. Numbers 1 through 9. Swirl the cat food. And pick a cat food. Today's kitty will be having Sheba Cuts roasted chick entree. Cut up some of this Tijuana Mama, and I'm gonna add spinach and some peanuts and some ramen, some Chick-fil-A sauce with this honey barbecue Chick-fil-A. This for 3 minutes. I'll put the nuts on there later. We want all this to boil for exactly 3 minutes. You can add some of this afterwards. It's probably better to drain it and then add this. It sticks to the noodles better. And add this last. And add these last. It's pretty tasty. You've got the Tijuana Mama, but it's a little spicy. Alright, because of the fact that you're dealing with the spinach and the bell pepper and the onion, I'm going to throw some of this garnish in there, this relish, you might want to go for a longer, and you might want to cover it, I don't know, maybe four minutes or so. So I'm only set for like a minute more. About like that. Get a minute more. Alright. So there's some relish here. I don't know if I'm going to use these. I'm probably going to save it for chicken. This is really good for chicken too, right here. It's red hot. It's got the thing on it. We're not going to deal with the buffalo right now. We're going to go with more of a mild. Get it get those noodles going too. Still got water at the base. You do want some water on the base, but not too much. And what you're doing is you're boiling this pickled sausage, which is like pretty hard to take down. We get it free at a food pantry. Food pantry hands them out. It's a tough one to swallow, but the pickle one is actually pretty good if you boil it. Here we go. Next we're gonna add some of the planters. And some of this stuff in here. We don't have to add that. Most of the water's out of it. Really good on a good stir. Stir that real quick so the water's almost done. Okay, I'm not going to use all these peanuts. I'm going to use about a handful of them here. Which is pretty much enough to taste. Maybe a few more. Now we're going to add, so it's not going to fit. We're going to add, so it's Chick-fil-A. It's really hard to open these Chick-fil-A's too. Just gotta dump it in there, get a sweet taste. And a couple of these too. It's got a French thing. It's a heck of a dish. Don't ask me the name. Tijuana Mama Tijuana Mama Ramen. That's what I call it, with spinach, nuts, and onions, and Chick-fil-A sauce. It's actually pretty good. It's not too bad. I'll serve it in just a minute. Not too saucy.